Because nobody's like you.
Now, for this section, I'm remembering something that a dear friend that I lost to cancer several years ago said to me. I remember her saying, "Always remember, Laura, you have the right to change your mind." Now, this can be kind of a fine line to draw because when you've got dreams, desired changes, and authentic goals that you want to reach, it's really important to be patient, persistent, and consistent. Because miracles, as a general rule, don't happen overnight. And as long as we stay in touch with that authentic dream, that authentic goal, and keep that single-minded vision, it will eventually come to pass. But on the other hand, there are times that we make a decision in one period of our life that is no longer appropriate for our authentic nature in a different period of our life. And so we have to remember that we do have the right to change our mind. And I want to share a very specific example about this. It was a client of mine who came to a Wish Weavers workshop several years ago. And I'm just going to call her A. And so A came to the workshop because she was very drawn to be there, but she wasn't quite sure what the dream or goal that she wanted to work on that particular day, what it was. Now, this is important to share in this context of this class because if you haven't seen class 3, you might want to take a look at it because it's all about how to formulate your own wish weaving circle, your own support team, your own support system. And that's what the wish weaving process is all about. So A came to this workshop and we went through the introduction. We all introduced ourselves, got to know each other a little bit, and then we got to the section where I had people kind of go out on their own and write down what they wanted feedback from all of the other people in the group at that particular day in that particular workshop. And she pulled me aside and she said, "Laura, I think I figured out why I'm here today." And this is just an angel bumpy moment that I get when I remember this story because it is one of the most powerful examples I have of how this wish weaving process can help people in some very delicate and personal situations, which A's was. So she didn't have a lot she wanted to change in her life. She was very happy in her career as a web designer, and she had a very fulfilling and happy marriage with a husband that she loved very much. She was in her dream home, really had a very, very happy life. But this is the thing. She had been married, I want to say, for about 3 or 4 years at that point. And when she and her husband got married, they'd agreed that they didn't want children. And now some time had passed, she'd gotten a little bit older, and she had decided she wanted to have children. And she had no idea how to broach this topic with her husband. But on the other hand, she didn't want to betray his confidence within the course of the workshop. So she said to me, "This is what I think I'm supposed to be here to talk about today, but I don't know how to talk about it without giving away all the details and without betraying my husband's confidence." And I don't remember exactly what I said to her. It was a divinely guided moment where I just shared what came into my heart with her. And she figured out a way that she could present the topic as in it was a close personal relationship of hers with someone she cared about very deeply. They had come to an agreement and she had changed her mind about her end of the agreement. And she was able to share it in very general terms, but get some very specific feedback from everybody else in the room that day. And actually, about 3/4 of the way through the workshop, she had grown so comfortable and felt such a trust with the other people in the room that she was able to just come right out and say, "This is what the scenario is. I've changed my mind. I want children." As far as I know, my husband hasn't. And she was able to walk out of the meeting that day with a way to present this topic to him. And this is years later. They are still very happily married, and they just had their 3rd daughter. They're one of the most contented and loving families that I know. So a good way to share an example of how it's okay to change your mind, and how if you're not quite sure how you want to approach that change or that next goal and step, that you can use the compassionate communication skills that we're going to talk about at the end of the class, and you can bring the situation to your wish weaving circle.
Because nobody's like you.